I'm so pleased to have Tony Attah, the Managing Director and Chief Executive Officer of Renaissance Africa Energy Company. Thank you so much for your time and thank you for being here.
Thank you for having me here.
So Renaissance exceeded its first month's production target by 40% in 2025. What operational strategies enabled the strong start to the year?
I love the question. I thought you would say Renaissance exceeded every month, not just the first month. Yeah, talking about operational strategies, I think it's a combination of many things. So we arrived as Renaissance, having taken over from Shell. This was a share sale, so essentially we bought the entire company that was managing the Shell business onshore Nigeria. But operational strategy, I think it's a combination of many things beyond operational strategy. We came in as Renaissance, having taken over from Shell. So it was a share sale. We bought the entire company that used to run the onshore business on behalf of Shell. So we took everything over, stock and barrel. So we have the same people. It's a big privilege to have inherited world-class people. That's a very positive start. But I think what is different is the fact that we came in with a different vision. And as you can imagine, Shell had been in Nigeria for over 60 years, operating these assets with a vision that is more Euro-centric. But we are Renaissance, and we are about Africa. So we shared the vision with the people, and our vision is to be the African leader in energy, enabling energy security for Africa, but industrialization of Nigeria in a sustainable manner. So with the vision fully shared, we got lucky that our people, excellent people, they bought into the vision. So I think just that connect between the shared vision and the people believing in the vision has brought a different kind of energy in the company. So it's not just operational strategy. It is the vision, it is the sharing, the connect, but also you speak to transition. So we came in with a very basic transition philosophy to safely receive the asset, stabilize it, and then set it on the path of growth. But in the whole safely receive and stabilize window, there was a very positive connect between the staff who were Shell staff and now Renaissance people and a shared vision. So I believe that's the combination that has made a difference in what you've seen. To see 40% increase in production within a month, as you said, actually a month is 30 days. It was within the first 100 days. So we increased production by 100,000 barrels of oil in the first 100 days. And I was very excited, but then you share with the board, and the board was even more excited. But then they quickly said, well, 100,000 barrels in the first 100 days, let's go for the next 100 days. It was, no, it doesn't quite work like that. But we're so inspired and excited at the performance to date.
And you recently announced a $15 billion investment plan. How do these projects transform oil and gas production in Nigeria's Niger Delta?
For now, it's a plan. Over the last 10, 15 years, the industry has really been underinvested. There's not been so much investment come in. But the way I speak to it as Renaissance is slightly different than how Shell would speak to it. For Shell, this business was one of maybe 130 such business. But for Renaissance, this is all there is. So it's our lifeline, and in our case, we have no option than to invest. So that's a starting point. But the real differentiator is the fact that Shell had not focused on oil at all. So there was a little misalignment in the portfolio because there was so much focus on export gas, and that is gas supply to NLNG, which is the Nigeria LNG company. For Renaissance, it's got to be a balanced portfolio. So what you saw in that announcement is the ambition to scale the oil side to align with the gas portfolio. But then if you link that to the vision where we want to enable energy security in Africa and industrialize Nigeria, it's sort of ambidextrous to the extent that the industrialization of Nigeria, we believe, would have a bit more to do with domestic gas than would be with export gas. Export gas is fantastic. It goes to LNG, it brings a lot of revenue to the country, but then it doesn't do much in terms of the industrialization of the country. And that's where we sort of said there has to be a new way to look at investment. There has to be a new thinking around what we want to do. But because everything is underpinned and driven by our vision, there's a solid connect. Our true north is that vision. So industrialization of Nigeria, I believe, will be domestic gas. So you will see a lot of the investments be around domestic gas, a lot around oil to scale up massive in terms of how much developments we want to do. But there is also scale that must be brought to life with respect to the infrastructure. The asset integrity over time is waning. We have to do a lot. You may rebuild some kits, but you have to fix kits to be able to achieve the kind of growth ambition that we have. I believe that we have no choice than to really invest. This is a start.
And I'm so glad that you brought up domestic gas. I mean, doubling domestic gas output is a very ambitious target, you know. So what steps are you taking to ensure that this expansion is both sustainable and secure?
Nothing could be more sustainable than if it benefits the people. As long as it benefits the people, that's how you get sustainability. And I just shared with you that industrialization of Nigeria will be about success of domestic gas. And I can see that clearly because I had a lot to do with export gas in LNG in my previous life. But the reality is you say we're doubling. We're not doubling in terms of ambition. Yes, for the first step, moving from what looks like 170 to 350, that's double. But the real ambition is 1 billion standard cubic feet of gas a day for the domestic, coming from Renaissance portfolio. And you have to see that through the lens of what it can do for the country. And I used to say it, and I still say it, gas is everything. Today you can talk gas to power, you can talk gas to industries, gas to fertilizer, which becomes food, gas to petrochemicals, and I dare say gas to employment, which is something the country really needs today. So there will be no scope for industrialization without domestic gas. But we want to scale to 1 billion standard cubic feet of gas a day. And with that, we believe that there will be positive spin-offs and the economy will be really, really unleashed. That is sustainability. And we will be playing the catalyst role to enable that industrialization consistent with our vision. That's what we see.
And how will your investment in pipeline infrastructure support Nigeria's energy security and wider economic growth?
Pipelines, yeah, pipelines represent lifeline. You know, it depends on who you speak to. There will be no growth without growth in the pipelines. Today, the pipeline networks are actually very good. And for the first time over what looks like a 5-year window, we have seen one of the best outcomes with respect to the security of the pipelines, the surveillance of the pipelines, and the overarching integrity of the pipelines. But what you want is the scale and the interconnectivity of the lines, because we're now needing to go and develop in areas that the prior owners didn't develop. So you have to build new kits, you have to build new lines. But then we are carrying out a full portfolio review on the pipeline network as well. What that will do is speak to the ambition of our future growth relative to what pipelines you have today. I mean, even in the human body, the arteries and the veins and all that represent the pipeline. Think about not having those. It's difficult to function. So we believe that our growth ambition will be directly proportional to the growth of the pipeline, and that is where the investment will be in. Overall, I must say kudos to the government. For the first time in a very long time, we've seen government rise up to its responsibility. In the past, companies are expected to protect their lines. And we've even had governments who say, you should protect your line. Lawyers say you should protect your line. But today, this government under the presidency of President Bola Ahmed Tinubu has really stepped up. And government is doing the needful of actually protecting the line, and then business can focus on just doing business, as against trying to do business and then trying to play the role of government in securing lines. So for me, that's a very positive trend. And it's very helpful because we believe that will underpin the overarching growth ambition that we are pursuing.
And we're here at African Energy Week. What role does this event play in helping your organization secure partnerships or just financing for your upcoming projects?
Beyond the upcoming project, I said we want to be the African leader. You can't be African leader sitting in Nigeria. You will be Nigerian leader. But our ambition and vision transcends Nigeria. And we are Renaissance. This is the Renaissance that Africa has been waiting for. And we believe that it's time for Africa. And it's time for Africa to unleash its energy. It's time for Africa to unleash its potential. Everybody says Africa has potential. I've heard that all my life. When will that potential come to life? That's what Renaissance is about. So coming to AEW is actually coming to the platform that takes Renaissance to Africa. So for me, there could be no better stage than this one to actually project and portray the Renaissance that is here. So for me, Renaissance as a company is great, but the Renaissance in our vision of being an African leader is greater than the company. It is the Renaissance for Africa. It is the Renaissance that Africa has been waiting for. And we're so proud and excited to be here at African Energy Week to share what we stand for with the rest of Africa and the rest of the world.
And just my final question, just coming from what you've just said, how do you intend to use African Energy Week as a platform to showcase your role in advancing Nigeria's energy future?
This is a start, for example, this conversation we're having. I hope that many people will watch this and see what we stand for. But most importantly, we do have other sidebars that we're going to engage. There's a press conference that we're having later today. But we also have a booth where we will showcase a little bit and interact with more people. But I think the real value is in showing up. As they say, 50% of success is showing up. We're here now. But when I read your ambition as AEW, it says AEW is the platform where African deals happen. That's one of the key reasons why we're here. We want to make deals. We want to sign deals. We want to build partnerships because we do know that going to the rest of Africa is not something we can do alone. So as they say in Africa, you want to go far, you must know that adage. Yeah, go with others. Yeah. We've come here to go with others, and I believe that this is center stage for the beginning of that partnership that will make Renaissance as a company, but will help Africa achieve the true Renaissance that the entire Africa has been waiting for. It's time for Africa, and I believe that.
Fantastic. Thank you so much for your time.
Thank you very much. Thanks for having me.